That was actually kind of a crazy day because, like, maybe 20 hours before, the SAG strike had been called. And my entire team was like, can you film the entire rest of the season tomorrow before LA wakes up and they call the strike? I was like, that's not up to me. But that scene and another scene between Harper and Robert, which was also kind of like a crash out fight scene, which did make it in the show, we decided to film those two big scenes, so we got those. Just in the event I couldn't finish my last like 6 days. So my dear friends pulled those scenes up on my behalf, which I was very grateful for, and so it was like emotionally charged anyway for me, because I kind of was like, is this the end? Am I gonna slap her and then leave? But it was, that scene to me was like the accumulation of all 3 seasons. This entire relationship in which there's been so much resentment and so much misexpressed love that can only end up in violence. You know, they say, like, why does a character sing in a musical? It's because when words no longer suffice, they have to sing. So the emotions were running so high for both of us. We were so far at the end of our rope that the only thing left was to do violence. Yeah. And it was really, but it was also like how can we hurt the other person as much as humanly possible, because we are so hurt ourselves. And getting to do that with someone you actually love and respect, and with someone who you've built an incredible trust in our own lives, but also professionally, it's like an actor's candy to be like, I'm gonna really give it to someone today, and then I get to hit her. Wow.
And the amazing thing as well, I would say, is that like they mean how hurt they are. They mean how angry they are. The intention with which they are saying everything they're saying, they mean wholeheartedly, but they don't really mean what they're saying, which is such an exciting thing to be able to play as an actor. Like, you are playing your objective as hard as possible, which is like, I want to hurt you, but the reality of the words that you're using are like spitting out faster than you can think, because the intention is stronger than the thoughts. And then what you're left with is just this kind of like this overriding emotion that's literally spitting out of you so fast that you kind of have to hit, because there's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
And I think that what's amazing is that these two characters know each other so well now that they know exactly what those trigger points are, so they don't even need to think. These are two very smart women, Yasmin and Harper, in different ways, but they're not using their brains in this moment for one of the first times in the season. You know, they're like, it's guttural.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's why it was fun to watch, because they're playing in a different space to the space that they usually play in with each other.
And this was also like the y'all have seen the whole season, right? Yeah. Okay. Just in case anyone will go back, I don't want to ruin anything. But all the stuff that happens on the boat, for Harper, her protecting and supporting Yasmin in the way that she does around the stuff with her father was the first time. For me, and was my choice to play it this way, it was the first time that Harper did something that was totally selfless. Completely not about her, all about protecting, saving, and showing love to her friend. It was a true act of selfless love. So I think the betrayal for both of them, right? The betrayal in the fallout of Yasmin losing her job was just so intense that there was no other option than to like spill your actual guts on the floor. But what's really exciting about sisterly love is that like you can actually do whatever to each other and you're still gonna like pick up the phone.
Well, I was saying before as well, like the great thing about that moment is, and it was originally that Yasmin slaps Harper, and then Harper says the line, calls her a whore, and then walks out. And I think that maybe would have been like uncomebackable, because like I hit her, she said something horrible to me, and they're like on this uneven ground. Whereas the fact that they slap each other, it's like, well, they're both at zero, you know? So there is kind of a place to come back from in this. I mean, you know, my mother rang me when we first got the sides in, and she's like, is it just me, or if Yasmin slapped Harper, would Harper slap her back? Duh! I'm not gonna let you hit me and not hit you back. There was just no way in hell that I could let that happen. But we spoke with Mickey and Conrad about it, and there was a long conversation, and we said, well, we'll film both versions and see what really suits. But I think considering who both of these people are, that yes, they have to always stay on the same playing field. So I had to hit her back.